That's my sun, and it isn't printed on the glass or etched onto the front. It's inside it, floating in the middle of a solid block of crystal. And I made it on this. The WeCreat Lumos Ultra combines two completely different lasers in one. A 6-watt UV laser that can engrave inside crystal, glass, plastic, and other delicate materials, and a 100-watt MOPA fiber laser made for engraving, coloring, and even cutting metal. So I spent the last month seeing just how much one machine could actually do. Here's everything I made, what worked, what didn't, and whether putting two completely different lasers into one machine is actually worth it. Hi, I'm Kerri from KERRICRAFTSIT. I've tested diode, infrared, UV, and MOPA lasers, but even with a craft room packed with machines, I've never tested anything quite like this one. The Lumos Ultra is available with just the UV laser, or you can add either a 60-watt or 100-watt MOPA laser. I tested the 100-watt version. WeCreat provided this beta Lumos Ultra and the accessories you'll see at no cost, but they're not paying me to make this video. All of the project ideas, testing results, and opinions are completely my own. Some links in the video description may be affiliate links, which means I may earn a small commission at no additional cost to you. For my first project, I used a UV laser to turn this photo of my friend's dog into two leather memorial patches. I positioned both patches with the camera, duplicated the design, and engraved them at the same time. Each patch finished in about 4 minutes, and that was my first attempt. The details came out dark, crisp, and much clearer than I expected from such a fast project. Can a UV laser engrave transparent glass without paint or coatings? This was one of the projects I was most curious to try. I put the shot glass on the Lumos Ultra rotary and used a piece of masking tape so I could focus the dots through the glass. Then I selected laser cylindrical mode, entered its 34mm diameter, refreshed the camera, and aligned the design with the center line. The software also warned me to check for possible collisions before starting. The engraving finished in less than 4 minutes. The result was bright white, crisp, and easy to read on the first attempt. I also used a UV laser to engrave plastic diving slates for a customer. These are basically small underwater clipboards that scuba divers and instructors can use for notes, checklists, and communications during a dive. This is exactly the kind of niche customer order I like being able to say yes to. Most people don't have a way to personalize this type of plastic, which can make specialized projects like this really valuable for a small business. Each side of the 4x6-inch slate took less than 2 minutes, and my customer loved how they came out. Everything I've shown you so far used the purple standard UV lens. The Lumos Ultra has 3 color-coded lenses: purple for standard UV engraving, green for engraving inside crystal, and red for MOPA metal projects. Switching takes less than a minute. I turn the machine off, replace the lens, put the protective cover on the one I removed, turn everything back on, and select MOPA mode in the software. It doesn't require any tools. The machine also checks that you've installed the correct lens. Every time I forgot to change it, the software caught the mistake and wouldn't let me start. That's a genuinely good safety feature, and it matters for a story I'll get to later. After finishing the UV projects, I switched to the red MOPA lens to make a full-color metal sign for my chicken coop. None of these colors are paint, vinyl, or ink. They were created directly on the stainless steel with the 100-watt MOPA laser. By changing settings like power, speed, frequency, and pulse width, the laser can create completely different colors on the surface of the metal. I started by running an automatic test grid to find settings for black, orange, yellow, teal, blue, and purple. WeCreat sent me suggested settings for about 10 different materials, but it didn't include anything for color engraving, so I had to find every one of these colors myself. Then I used them to make this Welcome Mother Clucker sign from 0.8mm 304 stainless steel. The regular work area is 210 by 210 millimeters, and my sign was larger than that, so I used the slide extension. That increases the work area to 520 by 183 millimeters in a single pass. In auto slider mode, the camera photographs each half of the work area and stitches the images together. You want to leave plenty of room beside the machine because the slide moves pretty far out. The camera preview was slightly off when I made this project, so I used the red light framing to double check the position. I was able to fix the camera issue later by running the calibration tool. I also ran into a frustrating problem with the beta software. I had already entered separate settings for every color, but when I selected a metal cutting preset for the 2 small hanging holes, it reset all of them. When I started the project, nothing was engraving. I stopped it, went back through every layer, entered all the settings again, and restarted. This was a beta version of MakeIt, so the problem may be fixed in the final software. Once I fixed everything, the color engraving took about 2 hours. The colors came out really well, and both hanging holes cut completely through the stainless steel with clean edges. Next, I wanted to see how well the MOPA laser handled something at the opposite end of the scale. These tiny, round jewelry pendants with silver and rose gold finishes. The names were so small that fill mode wasn't going to work well, so I engraved them in line mode instead. Even at this size, the text came out dark, clear, and easy to read. The camera made it easy to position the names on both pendants, and the engraving itself was incredibly fast. At only 15 seconds each, personalized jewelry could be a quick way to make a few extra bucks. I'd probably make the name slightly larger next time, but overall, I was really happy with how they came out. Next, I tested the Conveyor by batch engraving 6 Soccer Mom leather patches with the MOPA laser. I probably didn't need the Conveyor for only 6 little patches, but I wanted to see how well it worked. It takes you from the standard 210 by 210 millimeter bed up to 200 by 1000 millimeters, which is the longest one I'm aware of on a machine like this. I spaced the patches along the conveyor, and the camera found the matching shapes and engraved the same design on each one. They came out really nice, and I could definitely see this being useful if you had a much larger batch to finish. Earlier in the video, I engraved similar leather patches with the UV laser, so I was able to compare the speed. The 100-watt MOPA took about 37 seconds per patch, while the UV took around 4 minutes. That might not matter much if you're only making one, but it would make a huge difference if you were working on a large customer order. After the batch test, I switched back to the UV laser for the project I was most excited about, engraving a 3D portrait inside a solid block of crystal. I started with a regular basketball photo of my son and turned it into this 3-dimensional portrait floating inside the crystal. I installed the green crystal lens, flipped the removable base plate, added the riser and positioning fixture, and entered the measurements of my crystal into MakeIt. Mine was approximately 49 by 49 by 100 millimeters. I was honestly blown away by how well WeCreat's built-in AI tool worked. Finding good files for this type of engraving can be difficult, and turning a flat photo into a usable 3D model would normally be pretty complicated. I uploaded his basketball portrait, selected AI 3D portrait stylization in the American comic style, and the software created the model on the first try. Then I positioned it in the 3D preview and added his name. I decided to engrave the name first so I could confirm the placement before starting the portrait. That's when the machine incorrectly told me that the green crystal lens was wrong. Restarting didn't fix it, so I physically checked the lens again and confirmed that I had installed the correct one before temporarily disabling the part of the lens detection feature that was preventing me from starting. This was the same safety check that caught me whenever I actually forgot to change the lens, so it's a useful feature even though it gave me trouble here. Using the wrong lens could cause damage, so I only continued because I had physically verified that everything was installed correctly. This was also the beta software, so the issue may be corrected in the final version. His name took about 2 minutes and the portrait took around 30 minutes. The actual engraving worked beautifully on the first attempt, and this may be one of my favorite laser projects I've ever made. I loved it so much that I immediately wanted to make another one. For this crystal, I used a different AI tool inside MakeIt. It has a separate 3D generator that can build a model from either a text prompt or a reference image. I used it to create a 3D rose and then added a name inside the heart. One feature I really liked was being able to rotate the entire design in the software and look at it from every angle. That made it much easier to position the name exactly where I wanted it. I made this as a memorial for my friend who recently passed away from breast cancer, so this project meant a lot to me. I can see this being a beautiful way to create personalized gifts for weddings, memorials, anniversaries, and other special occasions. This is also only one of 5 different glass modes. The software includes internal 2D, 2.5D, and 3D engraving, surface engraving, and a textured 3D mode that I haven't tried yet. There's still a lot more that you could create with this lens. Overall, I found the WeCreat MakeIt software easy to learn. It includes editing tools, a full-size camera preview, framing, automatic test grids, accessory modes, intelligent nesting, built-in QR code and barcode generation, and AI tools for generating or converting 3D files. Out of the box, the camera preview was slightly off, but running the camera calibration tool fixed the positioning issue. Since then, it's been incredibly accurate, even on the tiny jewelry pendants and conveyor patches. One more important thing to know before buying is that the official Fume extractor wasn't available during my testing. Engraving and cutting materials like metal, glass, and plastic can create fumes and fine particles that you don't want to breathe, so you'll need a proper ventilation or filtration plan from the beginning. You should also verify that every material is laser safe before engraving it, especially plastics. After testing all of these projects, I can easily say that this is one of the most unique lasers I've ever used. I've never tested another enclosed machine that could make everything from full-color metal signs to 3D portraits inside crystal. This is essentially 2 specialized machines in one. A UV laser and a MOPA fiber laser would normally mean 2 separate purchases, 2 separate sets of accessories, and 2 machines taking space on your workbench. At the time of filming this, the WeCreat Lumos Ultra was $3,799. Adding the 60-watt MOPA brought the price to $6,490, while the 100-watt version I tested was $7,690. That's obviously a major investment, but it genuinely feels like you're getting 2 professional machines in one. If you're choosing between the 60-watt and 100-watt versions, keep in mind that I only tested the 100-watt. WeCreat says that both can produce similar results on many engraving projects, but the 100-watt can finish those jobs faster and has greater metal cutting capability. The 60-watt costs less and should give you most of the MOPA capabilities. The 100-watt makes more sense if speed matters to your business or you plan to do a lot of deep engraving and metal cutting. So which project was your favorite? Let me know in the comments, and if you want to see more Lumos Ultra projects, make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.